It's the Future Renting Conference here in Wales, and I am delighted now to be joined by Douglas Haig, who is Director for RLA in Wales. And Douglas, this is an incredible event here today, such a great turnout.
Yes.
How did it come about?
Well, we've had a number of exhibitions over the years in Cardiff. They've always been well attended by landlords from a wide variety of areas in Wales. Increasingly now we've got a devolved situation. Housing's been devolved for 3 or 4 years now, and you're seeing a divergence in how a landlord has to operate in Wales compared to England. With the dominance of the English media in Wales, it's really important that landlords in Wales understand the differences that are now evolving. We've got a large number of really educated and really engaged landlords, and we felt that we needed to take it a step further from sort of the standard exhibitions and things like that to actually giving really high quality information from speakers from different sectors. And we can see the level of the individuals that we've got speaking today is absolutely superb, and I couldn't have asked for any better.
Indeed. Let's talk about some of the speakers, because obviously we've got the Welsh Housing Minister who's just given her presentation. Great to have her here. Who else have you got speaking?
Well, we had David Smith at the beginning, who's our policy director, but I think the key importance of David is that prior to joining the RLA, he was part of the Welsh Government Scrutiny Committee, the law team for the Renting Homes Bill, which is now an Act. That's going to be a real fundamental change in how renting is carried out within Wales, to the point where I think the comment that he made was that we basically need to forget most of what's going on in the 88 Housing Act, and relearn it from Rent Smart Wales. So having him as part of the team and giving a talk here was key. We've had some great tips from John King from TDS, because despite the fact that deposits are 10 years old, or deposit protection is 10 years old now, it's still in our top 5 of questions that are being asked on our RLA advice line. So he gave some really useful information. We've got Charles Minor, who's coming on for planning law changes, because England you've had a little bit longer, but certainly in Wales there's an increasing use of the restrictions on HMO planning. So he's going to give a really interesting talk on that. Tax. It's that issue that everybody's talking about, and how do we minimise that impact? So we've got a couple of talks on that coming up later, and about the future of making tax digital as well. And also universal credit, huge in the headlines recently. Some big wins for the RLA, changes in the budget. So we've got Leah Whitty, who's part of Cardiff Council's housing benefit team, but she's a big part of the transitionary process into universal credit. She's been a real ally of ours over the last few years, and so she's going to be giving us some information there.
I think it's so important for landlords to be able to get together like this, everybody under one roof on one day, and I think a lot ripples out from these events, don't you? Yeah,
I mean the buzz upstairs when I first came into the exhibition area that we've got, and we've got some great stands up there too. It was fantastic to see a real engagement. Landlords were coming up and asking loads of questions from the various exhibitors, from myself as well, and we've got a good RLA team here as well, and I know I can see them constantly being pulled aside and landlords asking about this question and that question. But it's also a great opportunity for landlords to network in general, because it can be quite a lonely existence. We don't always like to declare that we're a landlord for the various sort of reasons that in the press, and the stigma sometimes of being a landlord. So it's really great opportunity for landlords to talk through some of their problems and issues and how people get around it, because getting tips from other people that are really experienced. Certainly how I started, I was learning from much more experienced landlords of mine that I know. In fact, you've interviewed one of them, Harry, who's recently celebrated his 92nd birthday.
I was wondering about him actually. Oh, how fantastic! Congratulations, Harry.
But no, he's doing superbly well, and still managing his portfolio. So yeah, but it's picking the brains of people like that to give you ideas on how to solve what are difficult problems for you, but sometimes simple problems for other people.
Do you think that this event will be kind of like a blueprint for future renting conferences across the rest of the UK? Is that the intention?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Wales was a great opportunity because we've got a good penetration into the landlord community within Wales. So we knew we could get a number of landlords here, and we also get a lot of feedback from our Welsh landlords too. And it's definitely something we want to continue hearing. Part of my talk at the beginning was about getting. Not only was it about giving lots of information across to the landlords to educate and inform them, but also for us to get feedback from our landlords as well, because ultimately it's what's going on the ground, happening on the ground for our landlords that we need to know. What are these problems that are creeping up, the issues that they're facing? It's really, really important for the RLA to have that information so that we can do something about it. We can't do everything as much as we'd love to. If we had every landlord as members, we might be able to. So if you're not a member, join the RLA. But it's going to help us to, that really does inform our policy direction going forward. So and certainly the success so far, we'll see what the ultimate feedback is. But yes, I think we will be looking at doing more conferences elsewhere and quite possibly repeating this on an annual basis.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on an amazing event, and to get 200 landlords in a room, I think is a real achievement. And I think it shows, as you said, the level of engagement of Welsh landlords, and that's definitely to be applauded, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the RLA team have worked really, really hard to get this done. But ultimately, it's and the speakers are fantastic. But ultimately, it's the landlords that make it happen, and it's the engagement of landlords to realise that yes, okay, they may only have one property, but it's an important part of their life and their future, and it's really important that they understand what's happening with it. So thanks very much, guys, for everybody coming here and attending, and hopefully we'll have many more of them in the future. And thank you for coming as well.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much for joining me in the interview. We've been talking to Douglas Haig.